Game Week 8's best team is looking spicy. As usual with my teams, I'm starting in goal. I'm opting for Leno here in goal. He's having a home fixture against Sheffield United. Leno has been the standout keeper in all the fixtures so far, and I believe a home fixture against the struggling Sheffield United side is going to be an easy clean sheet for Leno. I think Sheffield United will get some chances, but Leno will save them, and another clean sheet with a couple of save points and a couple of bonus points. He is up for another double-digit hover, and he had several already. I believe that if you're going for a wild card in the near future, Leno is one of the best options to go. And even if you're targeting a single game week, a home fixture against a struggling newly promoted side is a very, very good game to rely on such a keeper. There were several other options such as Vicario, who is having a game against Luton away, and Rob Sanchez, who is having a away game to Burnley. But I believe that Leno, with his price point and with his save points potential, and the fact that he is almost getting all the bonus points from his team, he is going to get you the most points, especially for a team that you are only targeting for a single game week, so you don't have to look anywhere else apart maybe from Vicario, but I believe that the outfield positions for Spurs are looking way better than the Fulham outfield positions, so Leno takes the notch here in goal. Some teams are having difficult fixture. There is a derby between Arsenal and Manchester City. United are playing Brentford, so it's not going to be an easy game for them. Liverpool and Brighton clash with each other. So yeah, the goalkeepers from Spurs, Chelsea and Fulham were the best to target in my opinion. And Leno, being the standout goalkeeper so far, takes the starting place in my Game Week 8's best team. Now let's go and see how the defenders complement his position, because the defenders are looking juicy as well. In defense, as already mentioned, Sanchez, being a Chelsea goalkeeper, is having a game against Burnley. So what better to opt for than a starting defender who is playing as a left back right now. Cowell is taking the left back position, and I believe that even if Chilwell returns to that position, Cowell will remain in the side, so he is going to be a starter no matter what. He is their best defender right now in my opinion, and I believe that he is having an okay threat in attack. He is taking some chances in front of goal. He's missed them all so far, but what best way to finish the Chelsea's good run than a attacking return from Cowell's perspective. Away fixture to Burnley. Burnley, yeah, may score and press Chelsea in the first half, but I believe that Chelsea will withstand that attack and finally start getting the results. I know that they are going to be too late, because after game week the fixtures turn for the worse, and there is a difficult game almost every game week. Apart from Liverpool, they haven't played anyone particularly good, and now the hard games are starting, but last digit goal from a Chelsea player is expected in the Burnley fixture, because that's going to be the easiest game in a while for Chelsea. So yeah, I believe that Cole is a good option. Next, we have Trippier against West Ham United. As mentioned, there is a lot of derby games this game week, and I think that an attacking defender is the best option to target. Maybe an Aston Villa player would have been good here, but I believe that Trippier is the best attacking-wise player defender apart from Estupinian this year, and if you have the money to afford Trippier, it's a no-brainer to go without him. For me, his set pieces deliveries, his threat from free kicks, the Newcastle potential for clean sheets, because they are getting a couple in the last couple of fixtures. I believe that Trippier is going to return to his norm from last season and start getting return after return. And if you want to get into those returns, Trippier is a very, very good choice to own right now, at least in my opinion, and their fixture run in the future is good as well. But if you are playing the game week by game week and do not care about the overall rank, Trippier finds is the better solution than the rest of the Newcastle defenders. And the last guy here that I'm opting for is Udogi. As mentioned, with the goalkeeper's position, Spurs are playing against Luton away, and I believe that this is the second easiest fixture in their calendar apart from Luton at home. So in my opinion, Spurs are going to destroy Luton, and after a double game week, maybe Luton will be tired because they are not used to playing fixture midweek. Then is going to be a game against Spurs, and that's going to be difficult. And in my opinion, Spurs are a good side, and they're scoring a lot of goals, and Udogi is getting a lot of returns. So I believe that he's going to return against Luton. So go for Udogi. For me, he is the best defender right now for Spurs. Maybe Poro is an option, but I believe that Poro is sometimes rotatable by Emerson, while Udogi for me is nailed and is going to take his left back position as a regular. Again, as mentioned, the other options maybe to go from are maybe Villa in the match cash case, but not such a good option right now. Estupinian is always a good option, but the home fixture against Liverpool is not a fixture that I will be targeting for any Brighton players. So I believe that my defensive options are limited this game week, and those 4 players just cover the best possible defensive output that you can get in a single game week, such as game week 8. So for me, those defenders are the best possible. Now let's go into the midfield. There are some tricky picks to say there, and some very good players are omitted, and I'll state my reasons in the next section. In midfield, as promised, there are some good picks, and some picks are omitted here. Let's talk about the obvious players here. For me, Maddison and Son against Luton away are the best options to go for in this game week. As you can see, I'm only opting for players that are playing away, but the away teams are just better this game week. I believe that players like Salah, he's omitted because he's having a game against Brighton, and in my opinion, it's not an easy game for him. Other Liverpool assets are omitted for the same reason. Chelsea players, I don't believe in Chelsea players right now. Jackson is returning after a suspension, and I believe that he's going to miss once again. So the Chelsea assets in attack do not intrigue me a lot. James Ward-Prowse is an obvious pick, but he's having Newcastle as an opponent, and I believe that Newcastle are very solid defensively. Manchester United are playing against Brentford, so that's why I'm missing any of the Manchester United boys. Sorry, Bruno, especially because he is the best midfielder in my opinion from their side. Saka and the other Arsenal midfielders are having a game against City, and I don't believe that you should target anyone playing Manchester City. City are playing Arsenal, so that's the reason why there is no midfield. And my midfield selection was a little bit tight to pick, but I believe that I picked the best possible players here. Maddison and Son, as already mentioned, they are a great partnership duo. After a couple of rough fixtures, now they are turning their fixtures once again for the good side, and owning at least one of the Spurs midfielders is a must in my opinion, and 2 is a very good thing to do, and what best other midfielders to do so rather than Maddison and Son. Son is their main threat attacking, sorry, now with Brennan Johnson being injured, and Maddison is their creator and everything is going through him. Richarlison is an option, but he is not nailed to start. Solomon is not nailed. Kulusevski is playing a little bit wide, so he's not getting a lot of returns. So in my opinion, Maddison and Son are the best ones. Next is Diaby. I believe that if you plan to attack Aston Villa's fixtures because they're scoring some goals, Diaby is the best option to go for. Watkins is another good option, but in my opinion, Diaby is just more involved. He can get on the counter, he is making assists, he is scoring some good goals, he's getting into dangerous positions. I know Watkins is not short of returns also, but I believe Diaby as a midfielder gets the notch here. And away fixture to Wolves. Wolves are improved massively from last season, and they have some good players as well, but I believe that Diaby can wreak havoc in their ranks, and for me going for such a player is obvious option. And the last guy here is a little bit of a wild card throw in. It's Gordon. I showcased that Newcastle are having an okay fixture run, and in my opinion, Gordon is integral to their play. He seems to be nailed and getting picked ahead of Almiron and Harvey Barnes, and the other players being rotated there. And Gordon is relied on the most. Isaac and Wilson are another option, but they are rotated compared to Champions League, some Premier League football. Some of their minutes are shared. In my opinion, Gordon is the nailed player to go for from Newcastle, and they are becoming better and better. They just trashed Sheffield United the other week 8-0, so they can do some damage. West Ham United are not Sheffield United, they are better, but I believe that Newcastle are better than West Ham United as well, and West Ham will be on the defensive side for sure, just like they were with the better oppositions, and with the Newcastle's input in attack and their attacking threat, I believe that they are going to score goals, and Gordon is going to be taking part in some of them, at least in my opinion. As already mentioned, there are a lot of players missing. No Brighton assets, no Liverpool assets here, no Chelsea, no Manchester United, no Brentford. And Mbumo is missing, no Arsenal or City because they're playing each other. I believe that this game week is a little bit of a freakish game week. And if you want to target the best players, I believe that Villa, Spurs, and Newcastle are the teams to target in midfield, because I have a lot of spicy picks up front, and you will be surprised who I'm going to pick, because you won't expect that, believe me. As promised, here are the spicy picks. An obvious choice here is to go for Haaland, because Haaland can be blanking in some game weeks, and then in the next game week he's going to destroy the opposition teams, and Arsenal are just another side that Haaland can destroy. I know that he is not returning especially well in Arsenal's fixtures, but I believe that he can change that in an instant, and going against Haaland for me is not wise, and you shouldn't do that. Let's scratch Haaland away. Let's focus on Solanke and Edward. Solanke is being scoring a goal here, making a return there, and he is getting under the radar. They're playing Everton away. I know Everton are becoming better and better, but I believe that Bournemouth need points, and what better fixture to start gaining points rather than the Bournemouth fixture. The Everton fixture, sorry. Solanke is their talismanic player, their penalty taker. If there is a penalty, he's going to take it. Everton are conceding every game week, so what's stopping them to concede against Bournemouth? Nothing, in my opinion. So yes, Solanke is going to be a good option. And finally, I'm picking a guy with a home fixture. It's Edward. I believe that he has been the most threat to any opposition Crystal Palace are facing. He is good. He's playing well. He's somehow nailed. They're not being rotated with Mateta. When Mateta comes onto the field, Edward is there as well. And in my opinion, Edward can do some damage, especially against Nottingham Forest side, who is playing away. I know Nottingham has been a little bit unlucky in some fixtures and some lucky in others. I believe that against Crystal Palace will do damage because they need points as well. And what better way to start than to face a relegation battle team, which is Nottingham Forest, and I believe that Edward can do some damage. Here there were some other options such as Wilson and Isaac, but I already stated that I don't know who is going to start. Watkins was an option, but I believe that Diaby is better, and those two strikers a little bit more spicy, and this team, as promised, is spicy, and I don't need the same players each game week, because you are playing a game to pick the best side for game week 8, or just do a transfer to target that game week, and I believe those 11 players can do some damage at that game week, and maybe for the future as well. But as I was saying, Wolves and West Ham, I'm not too very confident with their strikers. Spurs do not have a striker to pick. I'm not picking Jackson. Fulham are not good side to pick. Haaland is nailed. Alvarez is not as impactful, maybe as, or is maybe he will be impactful, but I don't consider Arsenal fixture being easy, and I believe it's final time for Arteta to show some strength against Guardiola. Maybe this is the time, but let's see. But going without Haaland is a no-brainer. I've prepared as well a differential side. Now in a minute we are going to jump to it, but I believe that these 11 players can do some damage. Maybe even if you integrate one of them, you can do well. I believe that Maddison and Son are integral to that draft. You should not go without at least one of them. And the other, Haaland, of course, is nailed, and the other picks are just situational. And if you feel like that they can improve your side, you can go for them. Now let's go and see the differential picks, because some of the players are already highly owned, such as Haaland, Maddison, Son, Trippier, Leno. So you have to pick some other players to break the highly owned players and just erupt your rank. So let's go and see how I prepare the differential side for game week 8. Here is the differential 11. Have in mind those are the percentages at time of recording, so if they have changed a little bit, don't blame me, because it's something that I cannot change while the prices are changing dynamically. Most of the players, I believe, are not going to rise in percentages. Eze is dropping, so he's the closest to 10%, and I don't believe that he's going to back into those 10%. In Go, Sanchez, Leno is highly owned. Vicario was another option, but I believe that the last ditch effort from Sanchez, and Sanchez is cheaper, is going to be a beneficial thing, and 6.3% is a good percentage to target. Cowell remains in the side from the best team from game week 8, but the other defenders are different. Shar is the one of the defenders that is under 10% from Newcastle. Botman and Trippier are way over it, so I believe that Shar is a good differential option. Van den Ven, I know that Romero and Udogi are better picks, but Van den Ven is the least owned from the three, so he gets the notch as a differential player. I believe away fixture to Luton, he can rack up some, maybe a goal, finally keep a clean sheet, so to have good points. And Mitchell, he was close to be selected in the best team, but I believe that the other three defenders were just better. But here, when you need to target a player who can return some points and keep a clean sheet, maybe get an out-attacking here for game week 8, Mitchell fits the bill. He's having a home fixture against Nottingham Forest. As you can see, I have two more players from Crystal Palace. I believe that in game week 8 they are going to be differential for sure. In midfield, Gordon keeps his place, but the other players are different. Diaby, Son and Madison are way over 10%, but Eze is dropping from that percent mark, and he's going to reach maybe 7 or 6% in my opinion, and he's going to be differential for sure. If Crystal Palace and he starts picking up some returns, it will be good for them. And the fixture against Nottingham Forest is a good way to start. Neto, I know it's a fixture against Villa, but Neto is being returning regularly. He's having a lot of assists, he's scoring goals, so he can still provide. I hope that he can reach the highs that he was promised to reach in the previous season when he failed as well, but this year he's doing well better than the last year. Gordon, I already explained everything about him, and Andreas is a full midfielder who, in my opinion, is integral to their play. If they do something interesting in attack, it's going through him. And Andreas at 1.2 percentages, even though his price is high, I believe that he can return some points, and he is having a fixture against Sheffield United, as already explained. In my opinion, he's going to be very good here. Up front, it was an easy choice because Edward and Solanke were already picked in my best team, and they fit the bill for a differential player. So if I want to go for the best differential players, I'm most probably going to focus Solanke or Gordon or Cowell, because they're the three players that I believe that are going to return in game week 8 the most points and are going to be differential, with those percentages being even under 5%. Edward is a good choice as well. Neto is a good option. Maybe going forward he's not such as good, but Gordon and Solanke, in my opinion, are two okay-ish fixture, especially excellent players, especially if you own Morris from game week 7. A quick swap to Solanke is looking good. Maybe if you own Sterling, a quick swap to Gordon is looking good as well. Cowell, if you don't own him, maybe don't invest if you're not playing the single game week strategy, because after that is a terrible fixture run. Sanchez the same, but yeah, I think I showcase around 16 or 17, maybe more 20, around 20 new players that you should pick for your side. You have a great selection. You can go for players that are having difficult fixtures, such as Salah, Mitoma, such great picks, Alvarez, maybe Stupinian. They're great picks as well, but I want to showcase to you another spicy selection of players, and I believe you haven't seen them being recommended anywhere else on the YouTube scene, so I believe that is going to be interesting to watch future content of mine, because I'm going to create such spicy picks for sure. For now, guys, I'll be heading out to prepare for another game week 8 and to prepare the best content possible and the best team that I can gather, because I have some plans in my head, but I'm not going to share them yet with you. I'm going to keep them for now and keep you on your toes for another content that is going to appear on my channel. If you enjoy the content, join the channel, join the community. I believe that I'm building a very helpful community. I felt really low after game week 6 before game week 7, but the community got me up and they showed that they believe in me. If you want to be part of such a helpful and healthy community, subscribe to the channel, give a like to the video, write down a comment if you have any questions. But for now, guys, I am heading out. Bye.